Have you ever found yourself thinking about what truly defines a comedic icon? I mean, really. Someone who can deliver, you know, gut-busting laughter one moment, then pivot to profound social commentary the next, sometimes all within, like, a single breath.
It's a rare skill.
It really is. Today, we're unraveling the enigma that is Chris Rock. I mean, the name itself just resonates, doesn't it? Unparalleled, sharp wit, audacious social commentary.
Absolutely fearless.
And a career that hasn't just spanned decades, but has, well, indelibly shaped stand-up, film, television, even Broadway. It's not just about a comedian. It feels like we're talking about a cultural architect, constantly pushing boundaries.
Right. And when you look at the rankings, like number 5 on Comedy Central's 100 Greatest Stand-Ups.
And number 5, again, on Rolling Stone's 50 Best Stand-Up Comics of All Time.
Exactly. It just instantly tells you the sheer magnitude of his impact. You can't argue with that level of recognition.
Our mission today, you see, is to take a real deep dive into this rich tapestry of insights you've shared about Chris Rock. We're going to meticulously unpack his extraordinary journey.
Yeah.
Tracing his path from, a kid navigating the tough streets of Brooklyn, dealing with childhood bullying, all the way to becoming this Grammy-winning, Emmy-studded global entertainment powerhouse.
And what's really compelling, I think, is observing how his personal experiences didn't merely influence him, but rather profoundly forged his distinctive comedic voice. That's what we want to explore.
Forged is a good word for it.
Yeah. We'll meticulously connect the dots, illustrating how his early life challenges kind of laid the groundwork for his fearless tackling of complex, often really uncomfortable subjects. We're talking about everything from the intricacies of race relations, the absurdity of modern politics, to the sometimes farcical nature of celebrity culture. Our aim is to illuminate not just what he achieved in his career.
Right. The list of accomplishments is long.
It is, but crucially, why his work resonates so deeply with audiences. We'll explore the surprising facts, those genuine aha moments, and the multifaceted layers of a career that unequivocally solidifies his place as, well, a singular cultural force.
Okay, let's peel back the layers then, right from the very beginning. Christopher Julius Rock was born February 7, 1965, in Andrews, South Carolina.
Right, the South Carolina roots.
But his roots didn't stay put for long. Almost immediately, his family embarked on this significant geographical shift. First, they relocated to Crown Heights, Brooklyn, vibrant, complex place, then eventually settled in the more working-class area, Bedford-Stuyvesant, Bed-Stuy.
Yeah.
This early successive migration from the rural South to two distinct, bustling Brooklyn neighborhoods right out of the gate. It couldn't have been insignificant, could it?
No way.
It must have instilled in him a very unique, kind of layered perspective on American life and identity. It's almost as if his worldview was being, meticulously stitched together from different fabrics right from day one.
That's a really perceptive observation, because those initial relocations, they often serve as foundational catalysts for artists, especially comedians.
Oh, so?
Well, they provide a unique vantage point, right? The opportunity to actively observe and internalize different social strata, distinct cultural norms, varying expectations, instead of just being stuck in one single homogenous experience.
Right. You're seeing contrast constantly.
Exactly. For a child, transitions like that necessitate a constant process of adaptation, keen observation, and maybe even a subconscious questioning of what's considered normal or accepted. This continuous, recalibration of perspective, it's incredibly fertile ground for developing that critical observational eye that's so vital to a comedian's craft.
And his family background really seems to reinforce the roots of this unique perspective. His mother, Rosalie, dedicated her career as a teacher and social worker, mainly helping individuals with developmental disabilities.
Which requires immense empathy.
Right. A deep understanding of human vulnerability. And his father, Julius, grounded him in the realities of working-class America. He worked tirelessly as a truck driver, newspaper deliveryman, until his untimely passing in 1988 after ulcer surgery.
Yeah, that's a tough background.
And Chris was the eldest of his parents' 7 children, 6 boys, 1 girl. Plus, he had an older paternal half-brother, Charles Liddell Rock, who sadly died in 2006 from alcoholism.
Wow, large family.
Very. And what's particularly interesting is that his younger brothers, Tony, Kenny, and Jordan, they all also ventured into the demanding world of entertainment.
That's fascinating, a sort of lineage there.
Yeah, and it suggests this deep-seated creative streak, almost a collective predisposition running through the family.
And when we connect this family history to the broader picture, we see a foundational narrative deeply rooted in hard work, public service, and, well, remarkable resilience. This very much forms a primary lens through which a comedian observes society. His mother's work in social services would have exposed a young Chris to the raw edges of human struggle, compassion, the societal support systems, or sometimes the lack thereof.
Right. And his dad's blue-collar work.
Exactly. Grounded him firmly in the everyday challenges and, yes, the humor of working-class America. The fact that multiple siblings pursued entertainment careers isn't just a coincidence. It hints at an environment where creative expression was not only present, but maybe even encouraged or perhaps even necessary for processing their world.
And there was this truly remarkable discovery, adding even more profound historical weight to his story.
Yeah.
On that PBS series, African American Lives 2, back in 2008.
Oh, yeah, I remember that series, Henry Louis Gates Jr., right?
So that's the one. A DNA test revealed Chris Rock is of Cameroonian descent, specifically from the Udan people.
Wow.
But the really powerful story that came to light was about his great-great-grandfather, Julius Caesar Tingman. Just try to imagine this. Tingman was enslaved for 21 years, enduring unimaginable hardship. Yet after gaining his freedom, he served valiantly in the U.S. colored troops during the Civil War.
Incredible resilience.
And the narrative doesn't even end there. He was then elected to 2 terms in the South Carolina House of Representatives during Reconstruction.
No kidding. Elected office after being enslaved and fighting in the war.
Elected office.
Oh.
And furthermore, his paternal grandfather undertook the Great Migration, moving from South Carolina to New York City in the 1940s, becoming a taxi cab driver and a preacher.
So that move north connects directly to Chris's Brooklyn upbringing.
Exactly. This isn't just a family tree. It's living American history flowing directly through his veins. Imagine the resilience, the sheer historical weight, the incredible stories of struggle and triumph that someone like Chris Rock carries. It's a direct, visceral link to the very fabric of the Black experience in America, a theme he explores with such potent, often confrontational power in his comedy.
You've absolutely hit on something profoundly significant there. This ancestral narrative provides critical historical and cultural context for understanding his unique perspective.
Has to.
His family's journey, from the extreme oppression of enslavement to political representation, then through the Great Migration northward seeking opportunity. It's a powerful microcosm of the broader African-American experience.
Yeah?
This lineage provides an incredibly deep well of lived history, personal resilience, and an inherent, almost genetic understanding of systemic challenges. This foundational knowledge would undoubtedly inform his sharp, often confrontational, and deeply insightful social commentary. His comedy isn't just theoretical or observed from afar. It feels steeped in this tangible, multi-generational history.
Yeah, absolutely. Despite this incredibly rich heritage, though, his personal experience was, by all accounts, not easy at all.
No.
He often recounts being bused to predominantly white schools in Brooklyn, where he endured severe bullying and beatings from white students.
Just brutal experiences he talks about.
Brutal. The bullying became so pervasive, so brutal, that his parents eventually felt they had to pull him from James Madison High School. He ended up dropping out altogether.
Wow.
He later earned his GED, but the impact of those formative years clearly immense. Before comedy really took hold, he worked various early jobs, the quintessential first job experience at fast food places like Red Lobster.
Right, paying the bills.
These early struggles, that constant feeling of being an outsider, the physical and emotional scars, they must have been incredibly formative.
Oh, it's crucial to understand how that early feeling of being an outsider, constantly navigating hostile environments and experiencing systemic challenges firsthand, deeply molded the sharp, observational, and often confrontational comedic style he's so renowned for.
Yeah.
His own memoir, Rock This, he candidly states he received a worse education in a worse neighborhood. And a whole bunch of ass whipping.
Doesn't mince words.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And this isn't merely a colorful anecdote. It's a stark origin story for a comedian. It vividly indicates that his early life was a continuous process of navigating adversity, where survival instincts likely sharpened his wit as both, a defense mechanism and an observational tool. It compelled him to scrutinize societal absurdities.
So, okay, given that challenging, often painful background, how does one actually transition into becoming Chris Rock, the stand-up legend we know today?
Right, the leap.
His journey into comedy began in 1984 on the stages of New York City's legendary Catch a Rising Star.
The proving ground.
Exactly. And it was there that destiny, or maybe more accurately, the discerning eye of Eddie Murphy, intervened.
Eddie Murphy, already huge at that point.
Bona fide superstar. Murphy spotted Rock performing at a nightclub and essentially gave him his first significant break. A small but crucial film role in Beverly Hills Cop 2 now in 1987.
Wow, what a break.
Rock also began picking up other early bit roles, appearing in films like I'm Gonna Get You Sucka in '88,
right,
even making an appearance on Miami Vice.
Getting those early credits.
Yeah, it's that classic narrative, isn't it? A struggling comic finding his footing and getting that all-important first push into Hollywood.
Well, this initial period profoundly highlights the immense importance of mentorship and, strategically seizing pivotal opportunities in the cutthroat entertainment industry.
Definitely.
Eddie Murphy, at the absolute zenith of his comedic and cinematic power, recognizing that raw, nascent talent in Rock was genuinely transformative.
Huge validation.
It wasn't just about securing a minor role, it was about gaining a stamp of approval, a direct endorsement from an established legend, which can open doors that are otherwise just firmly shut. And those early film and TV roles, even if they were minor, provided invaluable on-set experience, crucial exposure, and a tangible stepping stone for his burgeoning career.
That exposure and his public profile, it just grew exponentially during his time on Saturday Night Live. He was a cast member from 1990 to 1993.
The SNL years.
And he became part of that legendary group, affectionately and sometimes infamously, known as the Bad Boys of SNL. Performing alongside future giants like Chris Farley, Adam Sandler, Rob Schneider, David Spade.
What a cohort. That was a specific era.
A very specific, very high-energy era. During his incredibly busy period, he also released his very first comedy album, Born Suspect, in '91.
Okay.
And earned significant critical acclaim for his intense dramatic role as Pookie, the crack addict in the powerful film New Jack City, also '91.
Pookie, yeah, that was a standout performance. Showed a different side.
It really did. But here's where the narrative takes an unexpected turn. He was rather unceremoniously fired from SNL after the '92-'93 season.
Fired? I always thought he just left.
Reportedly fired. And following this, he had this brief, almost ironic stint on In Living Color.
Oh, right, another legendary sketch show.
But, to his misfortune, it was canceled shortly after his arrival. Talk about a string of professional setbacks right there.
Wow. Yeah, that's rough. But, it's quite striking how a perceived professional setback, like being fired from SNL, often serves as a powerful catalyst. It compels artists to forge their own more distinctive path.
That makes sense. Forces you to define yourself outside the group.
Precisely. While SNL undoubtedly gave him national exposure and a platform, that unexpected departure arguably pushed him to fully develop and hone his unique voice outside of an ensemble environment where individual identity can sometimes get diluted. And the incredible resilience displayed here is undeniable. The fact that he subsequently went on to host SNL a remarkable 4 times, 1996, 2014, 2020, and just recently in 2024.
Right, that's amazing.
It speaks volumes. It represents a powerful full-circle moment, transforming an initial rejection into multiple triumphant returns, a clear testament to his enduring talent and the undeniable impact he eventually commanded.
So after those initial bumps, those detours post-SNL, Chris Rock truly broke through, reached a whole new echelon of comedic stardom.
Yeah, this is where it really takes off.
His first HBO comedy special, Big Ass Jokes, aired in 1994, part of the HBO comedy half-hour series.
Okay, the first HBO step.
But the undisputed game changer was his 1996 special, Bring the Pain.
Bring the Pain. Iconic.
Iconic. This wasn't just a good special. It was a cultural phenomenon that cemented his reputation. Critics noted he became one of the most acclaimed and commercially successful comedians in the industry. It earned him 2 prestigious Emmy Awards, a clear testament to its groundbreaking impact.
Absolutely deserved.
And the special famously featured that controversial but critically lauded segment, Niggas versus Black People.
Oh, yeah. That piece was electric, caused a huge stir.
Huge stir. A provocative piece that vividly illustrated his fearless, uncompromising approach to racial humor, using stark comparisons to dissect ingrained societal perceptions.
He went there.
He absolutely went there. And during this period, his public profile just surged. He became a sharp commentator for Comedy Central's Politically Incorrect.
Right, with Bill Maher.
Got an Emmy nomination for that. He lent his distinctive voice to the iconic Lil Penny character for Nike commercials from '94 to '98.
Lil Penny. Everyone remembers Lil Penny.
Reached a huge commercial audience. And he hosted the '97 MTV Video Music Awards, showcasing his appeal to a younger, pop culture-savvy demographic.
Busy time for him.
Incredibly busy. So, the lasting takeaway from this period is clear. Bring the Pain wasn't just another stand-up special. It was a pivotal cultural moment that unequivocally solidified his unique voice and really redefined the landscape of modern comedy.
Totally agree.
It demonstrated with undeniable force that he wasn't afraid to tackle uncomfortable truths. He actively sought them out, using humor as this potent, incisive tool to confront and expose societal divisions head-on. It showcased his remarkable ability to dissect complex social issues with a sharp, often confrontational wit that compelled people to laugh while simultaneously challenging their deepest-held perspectives and assumptions.
That's a really astute analysis. Bring the Pain was, without question, a masterclass in observational comedy infused with an incredibly powerful social punch.
Yeah.
It singularly demonstrated his unique ability to articulate previously unspoken, often uncomfortable truths about race in America, employing humor not to simply gloss over tension, but to cut directly through it, forcing a confrontation with uncomfortable reality.
Right. He wasn't smoothing things over.
Not at all. The immense success and multitude of accolades for Bring the Pain weren't just for its entertainment value, though it had that in spades.
Definitely funny.
Oh, yeah. They were a recognition of the profound insight and the sheer courage he displayed. This special didn't just announce his arrival. It irrevocably cemented his place as a significant cultural commentator and a force to be reckoned with.
And the critical acclaim just kept rolling through the late 90s, early 2000s. He followed up Bring the Pain with equally impactful HBO specials like Bigger and Blacker in '99.
Another classic.
And Never Scared in 2004. These performances were so compelling that both Time and Entertainment Weekly famously declared him the funniest man in America.
High praise indeed.
Beyond stand-up, HBO also aired The Chris Rock Show from '97 to 2000. Critically acclaimed program, praised for his incisive interviews with celebrities, politicians.
Yeah, he was a great interviewer. Very sharp.
Earned him an Emmy for writing on that. He even ventured into the literary world with his book Rock This, and his comedy albums from this era, Roll with the New, Bigger and Blacker, Never Scared, each garnered Grammy Awards, just solidifying his artistic and commercial dominance.
Wow, Grammys too. He was hitting on all cylinders.
On the film side, he strategically expanded his reach with supporting roles in major productions like Boomerang, Smet Bilko, Beverly Hills Ninja, Lethal Weapon 4.
Popping up in big movies.
And the critically acclaimed ensemble film Dogma in '99, which even premiered at the prestigious Cannes Film Festival.
Dogma, yeah. Interesting role for him there, too. You know, one of the most compelling aspects of this period is how Chris Rock demonstrated he wasn't content to simply rest on the laurels of his stand-up success or just replicate a winning formula.
Right, he kept pushing.
He strategically diversified and expanded into entirely different mediums, television shows, books, film roles, clearly demonstrating a strategic artistic ambition to reach broader audiences and explore different facets of his talent.
Yeah.
The Chris Rock Show, for instance, allowed him to delve into more sustained long-form interviews, develop sketch comedy, showcasing his versatility and critical thinking beyond just rapid-fire joke-telling.
Good point.
This deliberate, multi-platform approach was absolutely crucial in establishing his enduring legacy, proving he was much more than just a stand-up comedian. He was building something bigger.
As the new millennium dawned, Rock really began to solidify his status as a leading man and increasingly moved behind the camera, taking greater control of his creative output.
The next phase.
He smoothly transitioned into starring film roles, starting with the acclaimed dark comedy Nurse Betty in 2000, which also premiered successfully at Cannes.
Nurse Betty, yeah, I remember that.
This period marked a significant shift into screenwriting. He co-wrote Down to Earth in 2001 with Louis C.K., a contemporary take on Heaven Can't Wait.
Right, the remake.
That same year, she took on the role of producer and star in Pootie Tang, also directed by Louis C.K.
Pootie Tang. That was a unique one. A cult classic, maybe?
Definitely unique. Demonstrating a formidable triple threat, he then took on writer, director, and star roles for Head of State in 2003, and I Think I Love My Wife in 2007, both critically and commercially successful.
Okay, so really taking the reins creatively there.
Totally. Other notable film roles during this industrious time included Bad Company in 2002, starring opposite the legendary Anthony Hopkins.
Wow, Anthony Hopkins.
And The Longest Yard in 2005, opposite Adam Sandler. This marked a deliberate evolution from just performing material to actively shaping and creating the narratives he wanted to tell.
And a key insight from this period is exactly that. His deliberate and ambitious shift to not just performing, but actively creating, shaping, driving narratives from the ground up. He wasn't content being merely an actor fulfilling someone else's vision. He clearly desired to tell his own stories, reflecting a broader artistic ambition, a deeper creative imperative.
Yeah, you can see that drive.
This move behind the camera provided him with invaluable control over the message, allowing him to inject more of his unique perspective and explore themes with greater depth and nuance than he might have been afforded in purely acting roles. It signifies a clear, conscious evolution from being solely a comedian to becoming a filmmaker with a distinct authorial voice.
And that profound desire to tell his own stories, especially those drawn from his personal experiences, led directly to the hugely successful sitcom Everybody Hates Chris.
Ah, yes. Great show.
Graystar Screens from 2005 to 2009. This UPN, later CW show, was loosely but powerfully based on his challenging school days in Brooklyn.
Right, back to those formative years.
With Rock himself serving as executive producer, and crucially, as the distinctive narrator. This series wasn't just a hit. It was a critical and ratings darling. Garnered prestigious Golden Globe and Primetime Emmy nominations for costuming cinematography.
It really resonated with people.
It really did, and this is truly fascinating, isn't it? Linking his challenging, often painful youth directly to mainstream success.
Yeah.
This show wasn't merely a comedy. It was a semi-autobiographical window, offering millions of viewers a poignant and humorous glimpse into the deeply personal experiences that so profoundly shaped him. It stands as a powerful testament to his ability to transform personal struggles, the outsider feelings, the bullying, the racial tensions, into universally relatable humor. He took those raw, sometimes painful memories and expertly reshaped them into this compelling, heartfelt, and genuinely hilarious narrative that resonated with an enormous, diverse audience, connecting his past with their present.
It's an exceptionally powerful example of how a personal narrative, when skillfully and authentically crafted, can transcend individual experience and become a widely shared cultural touchstone.
Absolutely.
Everybody Hates Chris provided a comedic yet profoundly poignant exploration of adolescence, the complexities of racial identity in a challenging environment, the universal experience of navigating difficult social dynamics.
All wrapped in humor.
Exactly. And by narrating it himself, Chris Rock maintained that invaluable layer of creative control, infused the show with his distinctive voice, offering both consistent laughter and genuine, often biting insight into his formative years. This project unequivocally underscored his commitment to using his platform for deeply personal, yet universally understood, storytelling beyond just joke-telling.
In addition to his expanding film and TV work, he also found immense success in voice acting, reaching an entirely new, younger demographic.
Right, the animation phase.
He famously voiced Marty, the eccentric, wildly optimistic zebra in DreamWorks' beloved Madagascar franchise from 2005 to 2013.
I like to move it, move it.
Exactly. Yeah. Including hits like Madagascar, Escape to Africa, and Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. And he lent his voice to the memorable character of Mooseblood the Mosquito in Jerry Seinfeld's B-Movie in 2007.
Mooseblood. Yeah, that was funny.
These roles showcased a lighter, broader appeal to his comedic talents, proving his versatility across different entertainment forms.
Well, these voice acting roles are particularly illustrative because they demonstrate his remarkable versatility and an innate ability to connect with a different, more family-oriented audience.
Yeah, totally different audience.
All while still maintaining his distinctive comedic timing and energy. They allowed him to significantly expand his brand beyond his adult-oriented, often provocative stand-up, emphatically proving his appeal across vastly different demographic lines and further solidifying his mainstream presence. It's a testament to his adaptable talent.
Then, in 2009, Chris Rock unveiled his first foray into documentary filmmaking with Good Hair.
Good Hair. That was a fascinating documentary.
It wasn't just any documentary. It was deeply personal, culturally significant, an exploration of how African-American women perceive and style their hair, delving into the intricate industry around it, its profound cultural significance, the deep historical context.
Yeah, it tackled a lot. Very insightful.
It premiered at Sundance, immediately earned critical acclaim, awarded a special jury prize. The National Board of Review named it one of the 5 best documentaries of the year, Got nominations for Gotham Awards, Writers' Gold.
So, well-received critically.
Very. He also, at one point, announced another documentary about debt, provocatively titled Credit is the Devil. Not sure what happened with that one, though.
Interesting. But this move into documentaries marks a profound shift, doesn't it? It raises a crucial question about his artistic evolution.
How so?
Well, moving from direct stand-up observations to deeply personal sitcoms and then to incisive documentaries, he demonstrated this clear, consistent commitment to exploring complex social and cultural issues with journalistic depth, moving beyond mere comedic punchlines.
Right, using a different tool.
Exactly. Good Hair particularly showcased his ability to approach a sensitive, culturally significant topic with both his signature humor and genuine empathetic curiosity. Offering a nuanced perspective that both educated and thoroughly entertained, it unequivocally marked a significant expansion of his artistic range and his evolving role as a serious cultural commentator, proving his capacity to tackle weighty subjects with both levity and substance.
Moving into the 2010s, Chris Rock continued to diversify his film roles, really demonstrating his range beyond typical comedic leads.
Yeah, kept mixing it up.
He appeared in the critically praised black comedy Death at a Funeral in 2010, a remake that Roger Ebert lauded as the best comedy since The Hangover, even calling it funnier than the original British version.
High praise from Ebert.
Very high. He also reunited with Adam Sandler and their Friends and Grown-Ups in 2010 and its 2013 sequel.
Right, the ensemble comedies.
Showcasing his ability to blend seamlessly into those casts. Furthermore, he took on roles in ensemble romantic comedies like What to Expect, When You're Expecting in 2012 and 2 Days in New York in 2012. Critics specifically praised his remarkable chemistry with Julie Delpy in that one.
Ah, yeah, 2 Days in New York. He was really good in that. Showed a different kind of vulnerability.
Exactly. These varied roles consistently highlighted his versatility, proving he could comfortably fit into different comedic and even dramatic molds, further expanding his acting range.
And one of the most compelling aspects of this phase is his deliberate willingness to experiment with diverse genres and various ensemble dynamics. These roles weren't just about showing up. They allowed him to truly showcase his acting chops beyond the purely comedic leading man archetype, demonstrating a remarkable ability to be a compelling interpart of a larger narrative.
Yeah.
The specific critical praise for his nuanced performance in 2 Days in New York is particularly noteworthy, as it highlights his often underappreciated capacity for intricate character work and strong, believable on-screen chemistry, proving he was more than just a punchline delivery system.
In 2011, making a truly bold artistic statement, Chris Rock made his critically acclaimed Broadway debut.
Broadway, right.
In Stephen Adly Guirgis' powerful play, The Motherfucker with a Hat, earned a prestigious Drama League Award nomination for his performance.
That was a big move. A serious play.
The very serious play. And what's genuinely illuminating here is the profound motivation behind this seemingly unexpected move. In an interview with Vibe, Rock candidly explained he chose Broadway because he wanted people to see him really act, to consciously break free from what he sometimes perceived as the formulaic nature associated with certain comedic roles. This wasn't a casual decision. It was a powerful statement from an artist actively pushing his own boundaries.
Definitely. Challenging himself.
Deliberately seeking out challenging, dramatic roles to unequivocally prove his dramatic capabilities beyond the rapid-fire delivery of the stand-up stage. It demonstrated a deep commitment to artistic growth.
And this strategic pivot to Broadway was an incredibly significant artistic endeavor. It allowed him to engage with material that intrinsically demands a different kind of performance.
Yeah, totally different muscles.
One fundamentally focused on sustained character development, raw emotional depth, a much slower burn of narrative. This directly challenged preconceived notions of him solely as a comedian and powerfully solidified his credibility as a serious dramatic actor, demonstrating his continuous drive for mastery and an unwavering commitment to growth in his craft. It proved he was capable of profound dramatic weight, not just comedic timing.
Then in 2014, in a true showcase of his multifaceted talents, he not only produced and directed, but also starred in the critically lauded film Top 5.
Ah, Top 5. I really like that movie.
Me too. It was widely described as a sharp social commentary on the pervasive nature of fame, society itself, drawing insightful comparisons to Woody Allen's introspective classic Stardust Memories.
Yeah, it had that meta quality.
Critics absolutely raved about it. Variety's Scott Foundas famously stated that Rock has finally found a big screen vehicle for himself that comes close to capturing the electric wit, shrewd social observations, and deeply autobiographical vein of his stand-up comedy.
That's a great quote. Sums it up well.
And the praise continued. Rolling Stone boldly declared it Rock's best movie by a mile.
Wow. What's genuinely fascinating about Top 5 is how it functions as a remarkably self-aware meta-commentary on his own career and the inherent challenges of fame.
Totally. It felt very personal.
It powerfully demonstrates his continued commitment to profound self-reflection and candid observation through his art, weaving those personal insights into a broader social critique. It's a deeply personal film, allowing him to explore the intricate complexities of celebrity, the sometimes compromised nature of artistic integrity, the constant negotiation of identity, all filtered through his signature comedic lens. This project ultimately underscored his extraordinary, multifaceted talent as a writer, director, and performer, synthesizing all his strengths into a cohesive, critically acclaimed, and deeply insightful work.
Beyond his big-screen ventures, the 2010s also saw him produce the thought-provoking series, Totally Biased, with W. Kamau Bell.
Oh, right. Gave Kamau Bell a great platform.
And made a memorable appearance as himself in the Netflix musical special, A Very Merry Christmas.
With Bill Murray, yeah.
And then came a truly groundbreaking moment in 2016.
Yeah.
The dawn of the Netflix era for Chris Rock. The streaming giant announced this colossal $40 million deal for 2 exclusive stand-up specials.
$40 million, that was huge news. Changed the game for comedy specials.
Totally underscored his unparalleled commercial value and artistic stature. The first of these, Chris Rock, Tamborine, expertly directed by Bo Burnham, dropped in 2018.
Tamborine. Very introspective, that one. Different feel.
Different feel, yeah. Earned a prestigious Grammy Award for Best Comedy Album nomination, showcasing his continued relevance and sharp wit. The second, Chris Rock, Selective Outrage, premiered in 2023, made history as Netflix's first ever live global event streamed from Baltimore.
The live special, that was a big deal.
And notably, it was his first public extended response to the infamous Will Smith slap.
Right, everyone was waiting for that.
This special received 3 Primetime Emmy Award nominations, including 2 directly for Rock himself.
So, still operating at the highest level.
His recent acting roles further attest to his fearless range. His compelling performance as Lloyd Cannon in Fargo Season 4 in 2020.
He was fantastic in Fargo. Really showed his dramatic chops again.
And starring in the Saw franchise reboot, Spiral, in 2021. A surprising venture into horror.
Yeah, Saw. Didn't see that coming.
And looking ahead, his future directorial projects are incredibly ambitious and diverse. He's announced to direct a biopic on none other than Martin Luther King Jr. in 2023, with Steven Spielberg producing.
Spielberg producing an MLK biopic directed by Chris Rock? Wow, that's major.
Major. An English adaptation of the acclaimed Danish film Another Round in 2024, and his own written and directed film Misty Green, also in 2024.
Keeping busy behind the camera.
This trajectory is truly astonishing. From being fired from SNL in the early 90s to commanding a $40 million Netflix deal, and now directing a major Martin Luther King Jr. biopic. His career isn't just about remarkable longevity. It's about relentless evolution, profound artistic ambition, consistently operating at the absolute highest levels. It's a powerful testament to his unyielding drive to constantly challenge himself and exponentially expand his artistic footprint.
And this remarkable trajectory illustrates a profound, continuous journey of artistic self-actualization. The Netflix deal wasn't just a monumental financial landmark. It was an unequivocal acknowledgement of his unparalleled standing and enduring relevance in stand-up.
Right, top of the game.
His ventures into dramatic acting on Fargo, his surprising foray into horror with Spiral, vividly demonstrate a fearless approach to genre, a willingness to step far outside his comedic comfort zone.
Definitely.
And his upcoming directorial projects, particularly the MLK Jr. biopic, signal a significant expansion of his storytelling ambition, moving into the realm of profound, historical, culturally resonant narratives. It quite clearly signals a shift from purely personal or observational comedy to tackling grander societal themes as a multi-hyphenate filmmaker.
Now let's pivot to the Academy Awards, a truly iconic global stage where Chris Rock has delivered some of his most memorable and, well, at times, intensely controversial performances.
Ah, the Oscars.
Yes.
Always eventful when he hosts.
His very first hosting gig was back in 2005. The Academy, I think it's fair to say, was clearly looking to inject some much-needed edge, appeal to a younger audience, shake up the traditional, often staid ceremony.
Trying to boost those ratings, probably.
Probably. Rock opened the show with his signature irreverence, jokingly declaring, "Welcome to the 77th and last Academy Awards."
Ah, classic Rock opening.
He made a memorable, if biting, Jude Law joke, implying Law was sort of a low-rent, ubiquitous presence compared to Tom Cruise.
Oh, I remember that. Sean Penn got upset?
John Penn publicly defended Law from the stage, yeah. Rock also skillfully poked fun at himself. If you want Denzel Washington and all you can get is me, wait.
Self-deprecating humor, always good.
However, despite his efforts, older Academy officials were reportedly displeased with his provocative style, and critically, the ratings didn't get the desired boost.
Maybe too edgy for them at the time.
He also drew considerable criticism for candidly calling the Oscars idiotic and asserting that heterosexual men just don't watch them in a pre-show interview, perhaps setting a tone that alienated some traditional viewers.
Yeah, maybe not the best pregame strategy, but what's incredibly insightful here is how he, from that very first opportunity, immediately challenged the deeply ingrained, often staid nature of the Oscars.
He certainly did that.
He did this quite deliberately, even if it sometimes worked to his detriment in the short term. This reflects his core comedic philosophy, that comedy, at its best, should be provocative and challenging, not merely palatable or universally agreeable.
Right, not just safe jokes.
He pushed boundaries right from the start, embodying his confrontational comedic persona on a truly global stage. While this approach wasn't universally appreciated by the Academy then, it was entirely consistent with his artistic integrity and unapologetic style. It kind of laid the groundwork for how he would approach the event in the future.
His return to host in 2016 was amidst an entirely different, intensely charged atmosphere. The ceremony was facing immense public pressure, calls for a boycott due to a stark, widely publicized lack of racial minority nominations.
Oscars so white, yeah, that was a huge controversy.
Huge. Rock made the incredibly deliberate decision to decline the boycott. He stated at the ceremony itself that the show would proceed regardless, he'd simply be replaced. Instead, he made this truly brilliant, courageous choice. Use his highly visible platform to speak directly, incisively, on the pervasive lack of diversity in Hollywood.
Turning the spotlight right back on the industry.
Exactly. Closing his monologue with those incredibly powerful, simple, direct words, Black Lives Matter.
Wow. That was a moment.
His performance received overwhelming critical praise. The Los Angeles Times called it some of the most powerful moments seen in the telecast's history, lauded it as brave and effective. The New York Times similarly praised him for being even-handed without being wishy-washy, highlighting his remarkable ability to navigate such a sensitive topic with both humor and gravitas.
He threaded the needle perfectly there.
The enduring takeaway from this performance is profound. This was an absolute masterclass in skillfully leveraging one's platform to drive a critical, difficult conversation, transforming what could have been a politically charged protest into an incredibly powerful moment of reflection and advocacy for meaningful change, all while still delivering his signature brand of sharp, insightful humor. It truly showcased his immense growth as a cultural commentator, demonstrated an acute awareness of the historical moment and the unwavering courage to address it head-on, unflinchingly, in front of hundreds of millions worldwide. It was pivotal.
His 2016 hosting performance unequivocally solidified his reputation as an artist who deeply understands and harnesses the power of his platform. He navigated an incredibly sensitive, politically charged, potentially volatile situation with remarkable grace, intellectual honesty, and his characteristic sharp wit. Rather than succumbing to the external pressure to boycott, he strategically chose to engage directly from within the system, demonstrating that critical change in dialogue can often be spurred more effectively by intelligent, pointed commentary delivered from a place of visibility.
Good point.
His rare ability to be simultaneously comedic and profoundly serious made it one of the most memorable and impactful Oscar ceremonies in modern history, forcing an uncomfortable but necessary reckoning.
And then, the infamous 2022 ceremony.
Oh, boy. The slap heard around the world?
Pretty much. He was on stage presenting Best Documentary Feature, made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head, comparing it to Demi Moore in G.I. Jane, reportedly unaware of her alopecia areata.
Right, the context there was crucial.
What transpired next was a moment that just stopped the world. Will Smith walked onto the stage, slapped Rock across the face, then returned to his seat and yelled, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth."
Just unbelievable television, surreal.
Rock's immediate reaction was remarkably composed, a real testament to his stage presence under extreme duress. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Kept his cool, somehow.
He later wryly remarked that it was the greatest night in the history of television. Dark comedic take on an unprecedented event. Smith later accepted his Best Actor award, apologized to the Academy, notably not Rock in that moment.
Yeah, that was noted.
Though he subsequently issued a formal apology to Rock via Instagram. Rock, for his part, made the deliberate decision to decline filing a police report, and in a stand-up performance in Boston shortly after, stated publicly that Smith hadn't reached out to him personally since the incident.
Handling it his own way. And this extraordinary incident immediately raised profound, complex questions, didn't it? About the fundamental boundaries of comedy, the unexpected intersections of personal boundaries and public performance, the very nature of celebrity behavior.
Everything blew up online.
Instantly became a global flashpoint for discussions around respect, accountability, the appropriate role of humor in public discourse, the unforeseen consequences of live TV. Rock's remarkably measured response, both in the shocking moment itself and in his subsequent public remarks, speaks volumes about his composure, his professionalism, his artistic integrity, his choice not to press charges and to ultimately address the incident through his subsequent stand-up special, Selective Outrage, highlights his consistent commitment to processing complex personal events through the lens of his art rather than through legal or purely emotional channels. It further demonstrated his extraordinary ability to maintain his professional demeanor under the most intense, unexpected duress.
Beyond the headlines, the impressive accolades, what truly constitutes Chris Rock's comedic DNA? Let's dig into that.
Yeah, the core of his comedy.
His core subject matter consistently revolves around universal themes. Family dynamics, the absurdities of politics, complexities of romance, the evolving landscape of music, the often ridiculous world of celebrities, and, crucially, the intricate, often fraught topic of race relations in the United States.
Race is always central.
Always.
Yeah.
It's abundantly clear that much of his distinctive style is deeply rooted in that challenging teenage experience of being abused to white neighborhoods, enduring severe bullying. As he vividly recalled in Rock This, quote, a worse education in a worse neighborhood and a whole bunch of ass whippings.
Yeah.
This isn't just theoretical. It's raw, lived experience fueling his comedic fire, shaping his observations, his ability to find humor in discomfort and injustice.
And this foundational, visceral experience is absolutely critical to understanding his entire comedic approach.
Yeah.
It undeniably instilled in him a sharp, often uncomfortable outsider's perspective and an incredibly keen eye for hypocrisy, systemic imbalances, the pervasive absurdities of society. His comedy isn't solely about eliciting laughter. It's profoundly about holding up a mirror to society, often unflatteringly, forcing audiences to confront uncomfortable truths within themselves and the world around them. The ass whippings he recounts, while a stark personal detail, represent a visceral, lived understanding of power dynamics, unfairness, the daily grind of survival. This became an incredibly potent, almost inexhaustible source for his confrontational, yet deeply insightful humor about race, class, social stratification.
Chris Rock has also consistently articulated a very firm stance on the public's expectations of entertainers, a viewpoint he powerfully expressed back in his '96 show, Roll with the New, and reiterated in Rock This.
What's his take?
He cogently argues that the public, particularly society, often expects black entertainers to behave with a higher moral rectitude than everyone else, imposing an unfair double standard.
Yeah, I can see that argument.
He famously quipped, "Why does the public expect entertainers to behave better than everybody else? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you got to be an entertainer and a leader. It's too much."
Yeah, interesting point. The burden of representation.
Exactly. He also holds a remarkably pragmatic view on the inherent downsides of fame, acknowledging its paradoxical nature. You can't be happy that fire cooks your food and be mad it burns your fingertips.
That's a great line. Very Rock.
It's a recognition that every privilege comes with a corresponding burden.
And this particular perspective offers a crucial insight into his philosophical view of celebrity, artistic responsibility, his broader comedic philosophy. He's not merely complaining, he's articulating a very real double standard often applied to black public figures,
Right.
demanding a level of moral purity and leadership that isn't typically expected of their white counterparts, or indeed of politicians or business leaders. His acceptance of fame's downsides, while pragmatically acknowledging its benefits, reflects a profound realism. It suggests he deeply understands the inherent trade-offs of his profession and consciously uses his comedy not just to entertain, but to both expose these societal pressures and cope with them personally, finding the humor in the hypocrisy.
His social and political commentary is consistently sharp, often fearless. He's been a vocal, active campaigner against racial profiling, frequently speaking about experiencing it himself, even at the height of his fame.
Even when he's famous, yeah.
There's that particularly notable anecdote from a 2013 Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee episode with Jerry Seinfeld. They get pulled over for speeding.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
In that moment, Rock candidly admitted, "If you weren't here, I'd be scared. Yeah, I'm famous, still black."
That hits hard. It's just a succinct encapsulation of that reality.
It really does. He even started this unique form of silent protest, posting selfies when pulled over by police. Did it 3 times in the first 3 months of 2015, always without comment, just letting the image speak for itself.
Using his platform in a different way. Visual commentary.
Politically, he didn't shy away from strong opinions either, famously labeling George W. Bush the worst president ever during his 2008 Kill the Messenger tour.
Didn't hold back there either. And this persistent, unwavering focus on racial profiling, even at the pinnacle of his celebrity, underscores his deep commitment to leveraging his voice for social justice.
Yeah.
It's not simply a comedic bit or a casual observation. It's a stark, lived reality that he confronts head-on, using his platform to illuminate a persistent societal injustice. The "still black" comment is incredibly poignant, resonant, powerfully highlighting that regardless of status, wealth, or fame, racial bias and its inherent threats can remain a constant, inescapable presence for Black individuals. His candid political stances and actions demonstrate an artist who is deeply engaged with the socio-political landscape and completely unafraid to express his convictions, often transforming deeply personal, sometimes traumatic experiences into broader, penetrating societal critique.
Rock has also been an incredibly outspoken opponent of what's often referred to as cancel culture.
Yes, a hot topic. What's his angle?
In May 2021, he very articulately argued that this phenomenon ultimately leads to boring and unfunny material from comedians, stifling creativity.
Okay.
His core belief is that audience laughter, or the palpable lack thereof, is the most authentic, natural feedback mechanism for comedy, a visceral barometer of what works and what doesn't.
Let the audience decide, basically.
Exactly. He powerfully stated, everybody's scared to make a move. That's not a place to be. You know, we should have the right to fail, because failure is a part of art. It's a call for artistic freedom, experimentation, even if it means occasional missteps.
And this perspective raises a crucial, highly relevant question about artistic freedom and the rapidly evolving landscape of public discourse and audience expectations. Rock's argument is that authentic art, especially authentic comedy, fundamentally requires the space to push boundaries, to provoke, and yes, even to stumble.
Right. Room to breathe, room to fail.
This stance is deeply reflective of his own history of fearlessly tackling sensitive subjects head-on. His argument suggests that genuine creativity, and indeed societal progress through humor, thrives in an environment where artists are not paralyzed by the fear of immediate backlash, allowing for the essential experimentation and occasional missteps that are inherent to truly pushing comedic and social envelopes forward.
So after tracing this remarkable journey, you might ask, who exactly shaped this shapeshifter, this master of comedic evolution?
The influences. Always fascinating.
His influences read like a veritable hall of fame of comedic genius. He consistently cites his paternal grandfather, the preacher, as a formative influence.
Interesting. The preacher influence. Rhythm, delivery, maybe?
Maybe. Along with legends like Bill Cosby, Red Fox, Dick Gregory, Flip Wilson, Richard Pryor.
Pryor, of course. Huge influence on so many.
Steve Martin, Pigmeat Markham, Woody Allen, Bill Maher.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie again. The mentor.
Sam Kinison, George Carlin, Mort Sahl, Rodney Dangerfield. What an extraordinary lineage.
Well, that's a murderer's row of comedy legends. It really is. This isn't just about individual talent. It's about a baton being passed across generations, a dynamic comedic conversation through time, profoundly proving his lasting and deep impact on the art form itself.
And equally important, if not more so, is the formidable list of prominent contemporary comedians who explicitly cite Chris Rock as a direct and profound influence.
Right. Who does he influence?
This list includes towering figures like Dave Chappelle,
Obvious connection there.
Christian Finnegan, George Lopez, Kevin Hart, and Trevor Noah.
Wow. That's a powerful legacy right there.
It demonstrates a clear, undeniable lineage, unequivocally positioning Rock as a pivotal figure in the ongoing evolution of stand-up comedy, particularly in how he masterfully blends sharp, incisive social commentary with universally relatable humor. His influence extends far beyond his direct body of work, actively shaping and inspiring the voices and approaches of the next generation of comedic giants, cementing his legacy as a true innovator.
Beyond the roar of laughter and the bright lights, Chris Rock's personal life has also seen its share of profoundly human ups and downs, which he's often, remarkably, integrated into his art.
Yeah, he gets personal in his specials.
He was married to Malak Compton Rock from 1996 to 2016. Malak, incidentally, founded Styleworks, a nonprofit providing free hair services for women transitioning from welfare to work, a really impactful initiative.
Oh, wow. That's great work.
They live in Alpine, New Jersey with their 2 daughters. However, the marriage publicly dissolved when he filed for divorce in 2014. He later candidly admitted to infidelity and a pornography addiction.
Yeah, he was very open about that in Tamborine. Very raw.
Very raw. The divorce was finalized in 2016. More recently, he was reported to be dating actress Lake Bell in 2022, though he openly self-identified as single in his 2023 Netflix special, Selective Outrage.
And what's particularly striking, incredibly compelling here, is his remarkable willingness to publicly acknowledge deeply personal struggles and vulnerabilities, transforming them not into sources of shame, but into powerful, relatable material for his comedy.
Right, turning pain into punchlines, in a way.
As vividly seen in Tamborine and Selective Outrage, this profound honesty, even about painful experiences like infidelity and addiction, paradoxically deepens his connection with audiences, fostering a sense of shared humanity. It powerfully demonstrates that his comedic voice isn't solely about external observation or critique, but also encompasses profound self-reflection, offering a more complete, nuanced, complex portrait of the artist as a man navigating life's challenges.
His views on religion are also quite direct and have evolved over time. A Protestant preacher once noted that Rock's faith did not stick with him as he grew up. In a particularly provocative 1989 stand-up routine, Rock remarked, "When you're black, there's like no religion to turn to. Christianity." I don't think so. White people justified slavery and segregation through Christianity, so a black Christian is like a black person with no memory.
Wow. That's a sharp historical critique right there. Very pointed.
It's very pointed. However, in his 2017 Total Blackout tour, he offered a more nuanced, introspective perspective, stating he was trying to get a little bit of religion, not a lot, expressing a desire to find God before God finds me.
Interesting evolution.
And ultimately clarifying that he practices what he calls the religion of comedy, suggesting his art itself provides a form of spiritual grounding.
And this evolving perspective on religion powerfully illustrates his intellectual honesty and consistently critical approach to established institutions and personal belief systems. His earlier comments reflect that sharp, historically informed critique of religious hypocrisy, particularly regarding its historical role in justifying oppression.
Right.
His later statements, however, show a much more personal, internal quest for meaning, ultimately framing comedy itself as his primary spiritual practice or framework for understanding the world. This is a profound articulation of how his art serves not just as entertainment, but as a deeply personal, intellectual lens through which he grapples with the big questions of existence and his place within it.
In terms of legal and lifestyle details, he settled a sexual assault lawsuit back in 2012, steadfastly denying the alleged crime. No charges were ever filed.
Okay.
And in a more contemporary turn, in 2019, he became an investor in the California cannabis brand Lowell Herb Co., openly identifying himself as a dedicated cannabis consumer.
Okay, joining the green rush.
These details just kind of fill out the picture of a prominent public figure navigating the various, often complex aspects of modern life, legal challenges, personal choices about consumption, investment, all contributing to a holistic understanding of Chris Rock as an individual beyond the stage.
Right, just more facets of a public life.
Finally, some profound health revelations offer an even deeper, more intimate insight into the man behind the humor. In 2020, he receives a diagnosis of a nonverbal learning disorder, NVLD.
NVLD, what exactly is that?
It's a neurological condition that primarily impacts the understanding of nonverbal social cues. So things like interpreting body language, subtle facial expressions, even the nuanced subtext of tone can be more challenging.
Wow, that must impact how you navigate the world significantly.
Yi committed to an intensive regimen of 7 hours of therapy per week to address this. Then, in 2021, he tested positive for COVID-19 and became a strong vocal advocate for vaccination, leveraging his platform for public health awareness.
Using his voice again.
This is truly fascinating, though, showing the profound human behind the fearless comedian. These incredibly personal revelations, particularly the NVLD diagnosis, offer a deeper understanding of his unique way of processing the world and interacting with it.
Yeah, it adds a whole other layer.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it, how that specific way of processing social interaction might have actually sharpened his observational skills in other ways, maybe compelling him to focus intently on verbal communication, the explicit absurdities of society, feeding directly into his comedic genius. It adds another profound layer to his complex personality and how he translates his internal world into his universally resonant art.
Absolutely. The NVLD diagnosis is particularly significant because it offers a potential, deeply humanizing lens through which to understand his remarkably sharp observational skills. Perhaps a heightened sensitivity to verbal communication, born from potential difficulties with nonverbal cues, became a powerful compensatory mechanism that sharpened his comedic eye.
Could be.
It undeniably humanizes his extraordinary journey, revealing the deeply personal, often hidden challenges that exist beneath the public persona of a fearless comedian. His openness about both his NVLD and his subsequent strong advocacy for COVID-19 vaccination further cements his image as a public figure willing to bravely share his personal vulnerabilities, not for sympathy, but for broader understanding and the public good.
So summing up, from a challenging, often painful childhood that powerfully fueled his comedic fire, through groundbreaking stand-up specials that reshaped the industry, acclaimed acting roles showcasing his versatility, and an unwavering willingness to tackle society's most uncomfortable truths head-on, Chris Rock hasn't just entertained us.
No, much more than that.
He has consistently provoked, challenged, and ultimately made us all think more deeply. He has been an incredibly consistent, independent voice, unafraid to push the boundaries of what is acceptable, and to use humor as this potent surgical tool for deeper understanding and profound social commentary.
And if we connect all these threads to the bigger picture, Chris Rock embodies the quintessential power of acute observation, indomitable resilience, and the relentless, unwavering pursuit of artistic integrity. His extraordinary decades-spanning career is a testament to the transformative power of art. His ability to meticulously transform deeply personal experiences and observations into universal commentary. He has continuously evolved as an artist while staying fiercely true to a fiercely independent, singular voice.
Right.
He's shown us, unequivocally, that comedy, at its most potent and profound, isn't simply about laughter.
Yeah.
It's fundamentally about piercing insight, unwavering courage, and a deep, often uncomfortable connection to the multifaceted human experience.
So after this truly immersive deep dive into Chris Rock's remarkable world, you might find yourself pondering this. In a world that seems to be increasingly sensitive to offense, quick to judge, can the kind of fearless, boundary-pushing comedy that so powerfully defined his meteoric rise truly continue to thrive?
That's the big question now, isn't it?
Or will artists like him need to fundamentally adapt their approach entirely to navigate this new landscape, and crucially, what might be irrevocably lost if they do?